Hello, hello. We're back again for another beautiful broadcast this sunny and somewhat chilly day. Today we have an interview with the marvelous, beautiful Rita Stewart, shemsu-t, a dear friend of mine, a mentor and my teacher when it comes to life coaching, a lot of other things too. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring shemsu-t in. All right. Hello, shemsu-t. Rita,
Hello, Alec. How are you?
I'm wonderful. And you?
It looks so beautiful out there. Oh my goodness. I love
Yeah.
that. What's behind you?
Um, One of those mountains is Mont Blanc. You know, if you have to, I don't know which one is Mont Blanc. Maybe it's one over there. I can
Uh-huh.
show you.
Okay.
Avion, you know Avion water. The
Yeah,
city of
Avion. Okay.
the city of Avion is behind me somewhere,
Okay.
and then you have Mont Blanc down that way, I believe.
Got
A lot
it.
of There's a lot of white mountains right now, but Mont Blanc is down there somewhere. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So
Thank you for
so
letting us see the world.
no problem. That's France. Actually, that's France behind us.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in Switzerland, but that's France.
Okay.
Right.
I love
Okay.
France.
Nah. So,
Yeah.
Rita, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazingly well. It's a
That's
little
good.
bit it's about 65 degrees, about 60 degrees here in Chicago, but it
Okay.
is an overcast. It's a little bit of rain coming down, but I happen to love dreary weather.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a beautiful day to me.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. All right. All right. Here, I forget how cold it is here. It's probably around in its 50s, I believe. Where's my phone? Here it is here. I believe it's in the 50s here. I'm not 100% sure, but
Okay.
I can check for you real fast since we comparing
So we can
weather.
compare atmospheres, right?
Oh, oh. No, it's 54.
Okay, that's nice.
It's 54.
It's
A little wind,
palpable. Hmm.
you know. Yeah, I might be able to loosen up a little bit. But now, I'm sure it's going to get cold later since I'm sitting right on the lake.
Yes.
So, tell the people about you. Who are you? Who's Rita?
Who's Rita?
Stewart,
Well,
shemsu-t. Are those three people?
it's so many. Yeah, you did two things. There's Rita, and then there's Shemsu-t, right?
Got you right. Yeah.
And then in my younger years, there was Little Rita. I grew up as Little Rita. you know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Little Rita.
Little Rita. That was Little Rita, exactly. So who I am today is probably
Okay.
my most favorite part of being in life is actually being a what they call a master coach. I am the coach's coach. And I have been
Yes, you are.
trained by many of you to be that. So I don't say that as an upmanship. I actually say that as an honor to have so many
Mm.
coaches that have helped to develop this curriculum called Masterforce. And we started developing
Mm.
this over 30 years ago and started certifying life coaches about 10 years ago. And what I see happening in the world based on the mastery that the coaches have taken on for themselves has been
Mm-hmm.
truly amazing. Just even
Okay.
yourself, in Switzerland,
Yeah.
over there doing your thing on so many levels, it's an honor.
Right.
So today, I'm standing in that space. But then on other days,
Right.
I'm a grandmother, I'm a mother, and I'm also an executive life coach, but I'm also the owner of a business called
Mm.
Masterforce. And we are a coaching, training, and personal development company. And we work on supporting people becoming leaders from
Okay.
youth all the way up. Yep.
Okay. Okay. What's some of your youngest clients or youngest people you have that you deal with?
The youngest person I have ever coached is a 6-year-old.
Oh wow.
A 6-year-old, and yeah, their family brought them to me because of some challenges that they were having in school, and
Mm-hmm.
we did some work together. And he was very open with me, and I love working with young people because they,
Okay.
one of the things that I have often found is that when parents bring their children to me, the issue is not usually with the child, it's with the parents.
Of course.
But we have to go with the child to hear what's going on, and then we can address the parents. And if the parents are willing to hear, it usually resolves itself. Yeah. So and then I've worked with a lot of teenagers, middle grade schoolers, fifth graders through eighth graders, and a few high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally.
And the oldest? And the oldest?
The oldest client that I have had is probably, I want to say maybe 78, 77, 78, something like that.
78.
Yes, I'm going to say 78. Okay. And here's the thing. I think that's going to continue to grow and change because we now realize that we're actually doing midlife about 75 now.
Wow.
Yeah, midlife. That's based on
is that
healthy, right?
That's based on staying healthy. Is that because people are maturing slower now, or because you have a lot of teenage 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds now?
Well, that's gonna adjust itself, but a lot of people are starting to take their health more seriously, and they're starting to take responsibility for what it means to age powerfully, right? Okay. And to create inside of a life that says when you're moving forward, life is going to open up to you, as compared to when you retire and sit down, you're usually closing some door, too many doors, actually. So we're starting to see that people are being a little bit more active and responsible with their health, and it increases their longevity inside of that.
Okay. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Yes.
All right. So what other question do I have in the beginning for you? So the oldest is 78, the youngest is 6. Got that. And do you prefer male or female clients, or is it you don't have really a preference when it comes to
that's very interesting. My client base is about 80% male, but my mentoring group, who I mentor, is about 95% women.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mentor more females, who come in and just hang out with me and be with me, and and don't necessarily pay for services, but people that pay me for services are usually 80% male.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Why do you find that to be the case? If you have so much success with the women when it comes to mentoring and they want to be around you, why do you think the women aren't as receptive to seeking out counsel like that from another woman?
Well, because it's very interesting. Most women tend to think that I'm their age, and they have no idea, that I'm over 60. Right. And so they tend to see me as their peer.
You say you're over 60.
I'm over 60.
You said you're over 60?
Yes. Yes. So they tend to see.
People would not believe you're 95 years old. When we tell them you're 95, they're going to be shocked. We're going to save that to the end. No, she's not 95.
No. It's like I'm their peer, and so peers tend to want to be, equal. They want to say, "Oh, I know what you know." However, my life experience, my life experience itself probably does make me about 95. What I've had.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Exactly. What I've had.
And you're from Chicago, right?
And I'm from Chicago, born and raised. Exactly.
So we have to put the years up a little further with that case. So that's why I said 95. But,
Man, when you start doing those life maths, the life math is totally different from the earth years. And the fact that I can still have my health, my joy, and my well-being inside of those things that I've had to move through, and then still have the love and capacity to nurture and support other people, it speaks volumes to the work, itself,
right.
that we do at Masterforce. Right. So yeah, so
Wow.
that's what I would say about women. Now, women do pay to become certified life coaches through my courses.
Mm,
Um, again, that's that I want to know what you know, and then I'm your peer, and now we're equal to that. And I don't have a problem with that at
mm,
all, because in my world,
mm.
souls are all equal. We're all emerging. We're all walking each other home. You know, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Does that make sense to you?
This is going to be interesting. It does, but lately I've been on the topic of male and female relationships in America, in the world, not just America, in the world. And sorry about that. A boat making a horn. Um, and people talking about people being humble and not, I don't like to use the word humble, because I don't know if humble is, a lot of these words have like a negative root, like nice meaning stupid and humble meaning
Oh
something else, foolish.
yeah.
So I don't like to use, just throw any words down there, but being not so much in the ego, I'll use that
Mm-hmm.
word. Um, so they're saying a lot of modern people in general, but especially like modern women, are so ego based. I'm hearing a lot of that feedback with on the internet, online, and things like that. Like they're not being able to, not being able to support their man. They want to be right next to the man or above the man, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And so for you telling me that most of your men that come to you seeking help are men. 80% of your clients that come seeking help are men.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting with that, in that context. You understand what I'm saying? It just like, I was like, wow, that's interesting. So are the women, and then on the other hand, you said the women more so look at you as a peer
Mm-hmm.
instead of like looking at you as someone that they can get some information and some guidance from. The moment I met you, I looked at you as someone that I can get some information and guidance from. It was automatic. You know what I'm saying? If we were the same age, I still would understand that dynamic of wisdom, and then I still would like, okay, I can get some information from the person and help, and that type of thing. So that's kind of interesting that you have that percentage. It says a lot to me.
Yeah, it's really I noticed that for myself, my own peer group, I'm around a lot of powerful women.
Hmm.
My own peers, the people that nurture me, are
Hmm.
very strong women. And inside of that circle, they have a great deal of honor and respect for who I am.
Hmm.
And they, you know, they request support in what they're doing in life and how they're moving in life. They're just not my clients.
Hmm.
They
Right.
really are my true peers. They're somebody that I go to for support, or that I go
Right.
to be nurtured, right? But
Right.
in society, we have developed a female source that have found themselves needing to compete with each other for the attention and affection of
Mm.
all of society. I mean, there was a long time where
Mm.
especially Black women, African American women, where people totally ignored our capacity to bring anything to life. We were the servants, we were the cleaners, we were the
Mm.
let me nurse your baby. So I
Hmm.
can see that women had to find their place. They had to
Okay.
be able to, yeah, they had to be able to shine. And so, not knowing what that looks like to be able to shine among other shining stars, we're still finding our way. Does that make sense? We're still, and part of my work is to support people, by being who I am and allowing them to shine, even outshine me if they need to, and
Right.
that's
Right.
part of us finding our way as women. So I can
Okay.
hear what you're saying, but I believe that we're still in a growing and learning mode based on what we've had to, the
Hmm.
terrain that we had to come through. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. But then I would have to not counter it, but like So, excuse me for this camera. I'm having a lot of difficulty. um, Not counter it, but just add on or say something else. So there was a time period, like if you like I say, you hear a lot of people talk about it. There was a time period whereas women were in our community, for example, or like as a group, that we were the most married. They say, we were the most married amongst all the people in the United States, for example. We were the most married. Now we're the opposite. We're the most unmarried. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? So it's like we had all this power at a certain time, like coming out of Jim Crow and all those different time periods. Now it's like we're totally flipped upside down with everything since the '60s or whatever. It seems like it's been a decline with just the male female relationship, with the role, like you mentioned, like the woman didn't have to worry about their role. Big Mama was Big Mama, and you had all the aunties that everyone looked up to, but they stayed in their place. Big Daddy was who he was. He did what he had to do, and you understand what I'm saying? Now it's like no one wants to. Yeah,
Well,
it's
see,
yeah. You get what I'm saying?
here again, we want to be mindful, and we this is the struggle for us because we really don't get that we've been socially engineered. We
Got some. There
really
you have it.
don't get that we
No,
have been socially
no.
engineered. I mean, from
Right.
beginning of, I don't know. I remember when the Vietnam War came and took
Uh
all
huh.
of those young black men from our neighborhood. I remember that.
Wow.
I remember Perry
Wow.
coming back home. You understand? I remember our
Wow.
neighborhood being emptied because they were drafted to go to Vietnam.
Whoa.
So you already started the succession of these men leaving. Then you
Hmm.
had the whole idea. Now, if you've taken the men out, right, being drafted, and then you
Right.
had the whole heroin epidemic, which was actually intentionally placed in our community. We have been
Right.
socially engineered. So this is why you have these black women have
Exactly.
to get strong because you can't take us. We're not going to let you do that. But our men now have gone. So now we're trying to bring the balance back. But and then you didn't take them to the
Hmm.
war, but you hooked them on heroin and didn't hook them on heroin, then you locked them up in jail. You see? So our brother Kings have
Right.
been taken out of the
Right.
equation for us. So now we don't know. I didn't grow
Yeah, but we lost it.
up with
We
a
lost
father, you know?
it for a minute there. Are you still there, Moot?
I'm still there.
Are you there?
I
What's the
can see
coaches?
that you're having a little
Okay.
challenge.
Okay. The thing is going, is rolling around and all that. There we go. And the video is having difficulty. I'm having a lot of challenges, but but the actual connection is having a
Yeah, it's
challenge
the
too.
connection.
Okay.
Mhm.
Continue. Yeah. Ignore my moving and all this stuff. I thought I was in a good spot, but I might have to. Whoa. I might have to change.
Now you're completely gone.
That's good for everything because you can see more. Go ahead. Finish talking about what you were saying.
So I'm saying now as women, we're being asked to now downplay the strength that we've had to build to stop this whole massacre of our family and our communities. And we did so many things, including becoming the most educated group in the world, but we don't realize that education doesn't serve our community. We also fed into the whole feminist movement. Why would I be a feminist when feminism is against my son and my husband? So there were a lot of things. We were
Exactly.
socially engineered. So now we have to come back. We have to come back to
Can
the
you speak about that?
say that again.
Right. Can Can you speak about the whole feminist movement? I would love to get your take on that. Like you just mentioned, we can go more in depth with that. That
Yeah,
would be lovely.
exactly. So, it's part of there's a different culture, and we have to understand that cultures are different. So European culture is very different from African culture, okay, and from African American culture. Like the root
Mm,
of who we are is community
Mm-hmm.
and family. But our family has always included the extended family, like you said, big mama, the aunties was the same mamas as your mama, and then the next door
Right.
neighbor, everybody was included in that equation. And then you look at the European community, they're the nucleus of the family. The mother, the father, and the children were the only thing that they created as a sustainability. So now in our
Right.
community, if you take out the father, which a lot of the social engineering did, you were left with just the women. And now you have a conversation over here where the European woman wanted to be treated equal with her man, equal pay, equal, because the men actually did not honor women the way that African American men did, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
started the whole brainwashing process, and we started including all women in that conversation and telling them
Mm-hmm.
that, and every man that I know will tell you a woman could never be equal because she is my mother. She
Right.
produced me. She gave birth to me. This is not about that level of equality.
Mm-hmm.
Who she is for me is an honor, right? Where
Right.
over here, this woman had to fight again to belong, which is why that transitioned over into Black women having to fight to belong, because that part of society would not acknowledge us as being pivotal to their well-being. We could only serve them.
So
You
y'all
see
was
that?
duped.
Yeah, totally. And now all of a sudden, we're the most educated, but we're educated based on European standards. We have to go back
Right.
and get that education that's going to make a difference for our families and our community. Yeah, if I'm very smart and I can run organizations and corporations, well, who are you building for?
Right.
We have to come back and build over here, and we have to take that knowledge and actually pull it apart and see, where am I truly in that equation, and what's the real truth about that education, because it
Mm-hmm.
is outdated.
Okay. Okay. So that's in what you just mentioned. I guess you put a solution in that too. That we had to reverse engineer what you were just saying, and then okay.
Yes, we do, and we have to do that. When I say we, I'm actually speaking to now moving into the regal queens, the 50 and older, who actually can now see. You can see what's going on now, and you don't have the same responsibility of children and work and all. So you can actually add some base of knowledge
Right.
to younger people, to families, to mothers who can hear you, so that we can begin to send that information into our young people. We have to start that process and start it today.
Okay. You mentioned something, young people. The thing was going out. You said we have to do what? Be responsible to young people. I didn't catch
I
what you
was just
said.
saying that I was,
Can you repeat the
yeah.
last?
So when I'm saying we, I'm talking about the queens, the regal queens who are over 50, mothers, grandmothers who are over 50 and have time to actually take on nurturing and supporting the younger women, the younger families, so that we can get this information to our young people and we can change it. We have to change it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 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 I got it. I got it. I don't know if it's going to record the way I'm hearing it, but yeah. So what you're saying is that the older sisters, basically, older women have to. It's their responsibility to help change it with the younger, and that's exactly what I'm hearing um, in a lot of the online chatter and the different conversations that's going with a lot of people saying that a lot of the stuff that got us in here was that generation that was misled in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit older than me, maybe a tad bit younger than you, or right at your generation, down to the
Mhm.
30s or whatever. that we were duped at that time, like you mentioned, with the whole woman's lib and feminist stuff and all that. And then the big mamas went from showing this to all of a sudden like, hey, you don't need this guy, you don't need a man, you strong on your own, and forget about him and all that stuff. And so that same dynamic is you're saying is that need to change it. The same people who not got us into it, because you guys not victims, but you were duped. Your generation was duped. So
well, our generation wasn't just duped. Our generation was actually attacked.
of course.
Okay, it was an attack. But me personally, I was a widow at the age of 25. Wow. My husband was stabbed in the chest by another black man. So I'm one of those young mothers who had to raise their children without a father. Okay. And so I know what that feels like. And I know what it feels like to not have a mother or father to call on to even help me with that. So I had to become a strong woman. Okay. I had to dig very deep. And so by the time I was ready to be in a relationship with a man, you know, there were very few men that could equate to the strength that I had developed at that point to have survived that. You know, and at the same time, I was a business owner, and you know, and that was a choice that I made so that I could have time with my children. Uh-oh, Melik, you're gone. Okay.
Wow. Moot, can you hear me?
I do hear you. I don't know what part you went out on though.
Can you
hear me? You're actually way gone now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change stations, Moot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello? You can't hear me.
I can hear you now. You can hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I heard you say we're going to have to change locations. Can you hear me now?
Going on with?
No, I can't hear you. You're going in and out. And out. I'm not sure where you are now. You've completely disappeared.
Don't pull happy.
What is that? You completely went out. I'm not sure what part you heard.
Wow. Are you still there?
I am. I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't hear. I can hear you. Barely hear you. It's in and out.
Okay.
No, I still don't hear you.
Can you? What do you suggest we do with this now?
I'm moving. Hopefully, I can get a better signal. I don't know if it's me or it's just a connection or.
Oh, from the location.
Pardon?
Because of the location.
Wow. I can't even see you. Your video is even out right now.
Oh, my video is gone. Okay.
Maybe I'm not sure if it's the location. I'm changing the location just to make sure that's not it.
Okay.
What I can do is because I hate to maybe we should stop it and I can restart another broadcast.
Okay, that's cool if you want to do that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's cool if you want to do that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yours is really going out. Yours is really going out. You sure it's not your connection? Maybe.
Say that again. No, my connection is solid. I'm the only person on
Oh,
my
I can't hear
internet.
anything.
Yeah, I'm the only person on my internet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's your connection.
It's not my connection.
So,
I'm the only person on my internet. I can see you. I just you keep going in and out.
I have a really good connection. Wow. Oh, I heard you say it's not yours. I heard a little bit of that.
Yeah, I'm the only person on my connection. And I can see the box. It's pretty live.
No, it's very bad.
So every time, so is it while you're walking,
Can
are
you
you
see?
walking?
Can you even see my video?
I do see your video. It looks like you're walking though. I wonder if the movement,
So
if you
there you
stop.
go. Now I can see you.
Yeah, I was saying I could see that you were walking. Can you hear me?
Okay, I see you now for the first time in 5 minutes. I see you and hear you. Yes. So
Can
I think it's getting better. So I'm
Okay.
trying to do my location.
Okay.
So maybe it can help. I'm not sure if it's me, so I'm going to try my best to rectify it if it is me. You know.
Yeah,
So I'm walking.
I was saying that I'm the only person on my internet, and it's
Yeah.
I can see the lights. It's not doing anything different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
that seem
This
to
is
be
my
better?
through my phone. So yeah,
Oh,
you're way better now.
okay.
You're extremely better. I just get into a location I can sit down. So we can finish talking. I don't know how. Maybe we'll chop it up and edit it. I'm not sure. We got to see.
See how it
So
goes. Right.
yeah. So continue what you were saying now.
Oh, I'm not sure what I was saying.
So
What are you talking about?
right. The last thing I can remember was you were mentioning about us being attacked. You were talking about that. That was the last
Oh yeah. I was
audible things and how we were
yeah,
attacked.
I was saying that, on many levels, our generation was attacked. And just to get on the metaphysical side of things, I was born in 1958, and that was the time when the indigo children started to come in. It was as though the universe said, hey,
Mm-hmm.
we need some help down there. And so people that were
Mm-hmm.
born in 1958 are kind of what we call the system busters. Those of us that have been able to live
Okay.
past some of the social engineering that has happened, we're the ones who have been able to establish a newer way at looking at things. My main focus has been the trend toward educating and education and how we deal with making sure the knowledge gets out there. And
Okay.
you have other people that were born in 1958, including Prince and Michael Jackson and
Oh wow.
yeah. So, the 1958, we started trickling in. After that, in 1978, you had a larger number of indigo children in the
Mm-hmm.
70s start coming in,
Okay.
being able to make some changes. So we now have what we call new earth children that started populating the planet. And then guess what happened? They
What
started
happened?
with the autism, the
Hmm.
vaccinations, and the way of
Right.
countering these powerful young children that were coming in here to help us to move things forward. So we are under attack. You understand that? So
Yeah.
so the
Yeah. That's
the
for sure.
worst thing that we could do is to point fingers and blame each other. What we need to do is to develop a platform of compassion and
I agree
overstanding.
with that.
Yeah, so that we can begin to channel our energy in solutions, and then really honoring children, because the children will lead the way. Children came to teach us, and we have to
That's
learn
true.
how to soften so that we can receive that teaching and remember who we are in the mission that we came to do.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's I think that's a good way to going about it. Like you said, the compassion and empathy. and understanding that we are, that changes everything. Instead of the war of the sexes, you look at the war of the system or the war of the whoever
Yes,
that's attacking us.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because each one of us have been triggered or pointed or attacked on some level. You know, you come from this way, this way, this way. We can point to women, we can point to our brother kings, and we can point to our children being attacked. And here we are. We're gonna sit back and blame? No, we have a different place to look. There is an
Right.
enemy outside of us, but before we can even deal with that, we have to deal with the enemy inside. And so we have
Yeah.
to begin to do our spiritual work so that we can get strong enough to
Right.
actually begin to do the work in dealing with what has happened with our families.
I agree. I agree. And
Mm.
in that work, would you say that I'm I don't want to say I'm being an advocate. I just want to ask the questions. Even if I know some of the answers, I just ask the
Oh no,
questions.
that's cool. Yeah, no,
So,
yeah.
so would you say that um, let's say the individual, whether it's male, female, young or old, need to do the work as far as like separating themselves from the other, as far as like doing the personal work on their own. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for
Um,
example, for
mhm.
example, as far as the male and female dynamic, you know, would you say that the females need to just really focus on themselves and do the work, like therapy, like just get in and work on you. Stop worrying about what's happening and who did what and who's right, who's wrong, and focus inwardly and on yourself.
Exactly.
Accountability. How about that as a
Well,
word?
no, you're hitting to on a very good point, Malik. One of the things that I had to see in my young life, my younger years, is that I kept attracting men who were physically abusive. And these men would
Oh
say that
wow.
they loved me, but they wanted to put me in my place. And I, again, did not grow up with a father, so I had no idea what a place looked like. And right, so um, at some point, I took myself. I said, okay, I'm not going to do relationships. I need to heal that male energy in me so that I can actually love and receive love from a man, because there was something about me that wasn't able to
Okay.
do that. And how I know? Because I kept attracting the same type of man, right? So
Oh wow.
I did what I called a 30-day ritual where
Mm-hmm.
inside of my space, I would bring up a male that I had a relationship with, and address any negative thing that had happened and release it. So I went through 30 days of just
Okay.
releasing every physical abuse, every insult, whatever that was, releasing that male from that having that what do you call pain in me. I released that.
Right.
And then at the
Mm-hmm.
end of that, I actually, did a meditation and just really asked God to show me, how to love myself in a way that
Right.
allowed the freedom, to be. Now, it was later that I learned that the energy that comes from the cosmos is a
Mm-hmm.
male energy. That's the yang energy. In Chinese philosophy, there's no male, female, there's the yin yang. So yang energy comes into us. And if we're not able to receive that energy, what we tend to do is repel.
Right.
So if I'm unhealed in my issues with father or men, I'm not able to receive that energy. Am I making
Mm-hmm.
sense? So when I
Yeah.
actually did that work, it allowed me to then open up. So even when a male was being negative to me, it did not occur like that. It occurred
Right.
like that person is calling for love. That person, and there was not a fear or a confrontation or, a pushing back. There was really a softening, and then that's what opened up my practice, I believe, where, I had more male clients because they need a soft place to
Mm,
fall. They need a place where they can themselves open to receive, because all of us, anything on planet Earth is a receptor, unless you're not, you know. Does that make sense?
unless you're not what?
Uh,
I didn't hear
Everything
you. Unless you're
on
not
Earth
what?
is a
You said
receptor,
unless you're not what?
unless you're not. You have to, like,
Oh, unless you're
the
not.
rain
Okay.
comes down, the soil is receiving, the sun comes
Yeah.
down, the trees are, we're all
Yeah.
we are receiving.
Yeah. And you know
No.
what? It's funny. Every time you say something, I get things out of it on different levels.
Oh yeah.
So I have to speak my piece on it. I don't have to, but I'll share what I got out of it. So when you were saying that you were able to receive before you weren't able to receive the yang energy from the cosmos from above, as a woman, that's the whole thing of the woman. Is the woman is the receptor, the receptive
Yeah. Yeah.
of the thing. So that means you weren't in balance with yourself as you stated. So
Yeah.
basically, a lot of these women they're out of balance to where they're not able to receive the yang energy, sort of say, as you mentioned it. So they're basically repelling
Hmm.
this
Yeah, and a
energy.
lot
So
of
they're missing
to
that connection.
that's right. Uh, it's more than just a repel. A lot of women are yanged out themselves,
Yeah,
and
that's
and
part that's part of it.
yeah, I actually saw this demonstrated, and I know this is going to sound, um, I don't know how it's going to sound, but I'm going to speak to the way my spirit spoke to me when Sandra Bland was killed by the policeman. That was a direct example of how imbalanced our energy is as women. Like that confrontation was like
Yeah,
boom, and when you fight fire with fire, our strength is not that of a man. So
no,
to do
no,
that is just, it's not ever smart. It's
never.
not, and then you're alone. You don't have an army behind you. Yeah, we're too vulnerable to
Yeah,
ever put ourselves in that position. So wisdom is missing in how we deal with our men. Wisdom is not there, and we want the men to be responsible for how they behave. And we actually have to remember that we are all set. We are the ones that nurture and bring the men into existence and put them up to our bosom and nurture, and they watch us to see how to love and produce and be. But if we're doing that same yang, where are they learning it from?
yeah, yeah,
There's no soft place to fall because you have everybody yanged out, the men, the women, the
yeah,
children.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I like to say, I have my, I don't want to say theories. I just have my way of looking and understanding, or just my understanding of things. When people make certain statements, like you mentioned, everything is yanged out. So you hear this whole what do you call it? Toxic masculinity. You hear those type of words, or oh, we're living in a patriarchal and this and that. It's the patriarch if it was matriarch. And I tell people, my take on it is we're living in neither. What you see now is not a patriarch. Oh, why you say that? Man run thing. I said, no, it's not a patriarch or a matriarch. This is something that's warped. This is a perverted, warped thing that we see now. And it's producing such. You understand? If this was a patriarch, why is it producing what we see now? If it's a patriarch, why is women attacking men? Why is it like
Well,
no? If it was a
yeah,
matriarch, why would that? It's nothing. It's neither or. It's not. There's nothing of balance. It's like a warped tire. To me, this is what I look at a warped tire. When you have your bicycle tire and it's warped, it's just like, you understand what I'm saying? This is my
yeah.
take.
I like to study the work of Terrence Real. And
Hmm.
Terrence Real is he's a coach, counselor, therapist for men.
Okay.
And in his work, one of his favorite works that I actually use with my male clients is I don't want to talk about it. And it really does distinguish for us how patriarchal ways of being have affected boys and men as much as it has affected women.
Hmm.
So how it has affected boys and men is in the sense of shutting down the feeling. Don't cry. Shut up. No tears. Be strong. Stand up like a man. That negates that feminine energy that is also in men. Is yin. So just like yang is from up here, when you plant your feet on the ground, that's Mama Earth.
Hmm.
That's yin.
Right.
So everybody
Hmm.
has to have yin energy too.
Of
So it's
course.
not just women that need yin energy, men need
No.
yin energy.
Of
And
course.
how do we
Of
know
course.
that? Because more, heart attacks, if you can't cry, your heart will explode. But yet and
Hmm.
still, this is how we're training young boys to be strong. And that's not strength. That really is a
No,
shutting
not at
down
all.
of emotions, right? And you can go to both
Yeah.
extremes. So the
Yeah.
balance is what we're seeking,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
this is what I mentioned. This is what I mentioned. When you got a tire that can spin and it spins correctly because it's centered and it's balanced
Yeah,
and it's straight. It's
yeah,
straight in the middle. It's the center. And so you have that balance. So
yeah.
for me, it's warped because it's so far one way, or it's not even, yeah, you can't even call what it is. When you see a tire that's warped, I don't know if you can picture a warped tire. You can't tell if it's going
One way or the other.
counterclockwise or clockwise. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
one way or another because it's so warped. And for me, this is what's happening in the system, that is just totally warped, and it's creating warped beings.
Yeah, and I've always made it a habit to not look out there and to look
Hmm.
here in
Hmm.
the I can look around me to see how the world is going, and where I can
Hmm.
impact the world is right here, like right here now. My relationship with the people
Right.
closest to me, my
Right.
relationships with the thing that had me do the ritual to men was because
Hmm.
of my relationship with the men in my life. The thing that
Hmm.
actually had me start Masterforce was because one day I was driving to work and I heard on the radio somebody say that by the year of 2010, more than or was it 2020? Whatever it was, I can't even. I've written it down in one of my books though, but it
Okay.
said more than 70% of Black men will either be in jail, on drugs, or homosexuals. I
Wow.
was, I had already been studying for years how the brain works. So I knew that that was an affirmation. I'm not telling you that this is what we're training on, right?
Hmm.
I I literally felt so heavy. I had to pull over. I mean, I cried. And then I literally started praying like, Father, and I wrote down 10 men in my life. And I looked, are they on that trajectory? Are any of them? And I started seeing, how can I impact 10 men in my family? How can I impact this circle
Hmm.
so that they don't end up like that? And a lot of them I couldn't. They are dead, you know. I don't think any of them are in drugs, but some of them are alcoholics. I mean, so this is what we have to come back to the home base. Our
Yeah.
greatest strength, our greatest strength is father, mother, children,
Hmm.
grandmother, aunt, uncle.
Yeah.
It's not enough that your household is okay. How is your sister's children? How
Right.
are your
Right.
neighbor's children? You see,
Hmm.
we have to remember the community that we are as African
Yeah.
American people.
Right. 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 Right.
Mhm.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? We can
Wow.
is as challenging as it is. This is what we were born for.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of us really asked. We asked Spirit, let me come down. I can do this work. And we have to remember who we are. And we have to take care of ourselves so we can withstand the fight. That's where we've got tricked the most, is that we have not sustained our physical bodies. You
True.
know, that's why I'm so
True.
glad, we have a great deal of Masterforce coaches who are fitness trainers and help us to be that whole being,
Right. I'm one
you
of
know.
them. Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Um, no, that's exactly what this channel is based on, becoming a whole being. And that's one of my journeys is becoming a whole being. And with the help of
Yeah.
you and you know, yeah,
Your other circle of mentors and
I'm
coaches.
seeking out on my journey. Exactly, exactly. But yeah, that's my outlook as a fitness coach. Um, I always found myself, because I'm naturally, I guess I'm naturally a therapist or a life coach. I like to help, so I always find myself helping my clients in other ways, because it was just like, okay, your weight gain was just a piece of what was wrong with the person. How did you get this big? How do you understand?
Mm,
Then you're, oh, my back hurts. Why do your back hurts? Like, what are you holding that
yeah.
pain? Are I have all these people with these different ailments and different things that come. And so I'm always looking for the cause and not just looking at the effect,
It's exactly right.
So
Yeah, that's what
so
I
that
work
that
with,
always
to
goes.
help them find, go to the center of it. And most of our stuff, most of what we're dealing with have come from the belief systems that we still hold on to as children. We a lot of us grew up in families that did not hold us as sacred, or didn't believe in us, or didn't even teach us to believe in ourselves. And
Right.
then you develop this education system that says you're good if you're good if you get these grades, and you're bad if you don't. You're good, and we're
Right.
good, we're going to reward you. And if you're not good, we're going to punish you. So now you have children who have no idea who you are, because they can't keep up with this system. Are you kidding me? And
Mm.
we want to say something. Listen, if I wanted to make every black kid feel bad if they were a boy child, I'm going to make this system so it doesn't work for them. Can you see that? It's clear as day. It's clear
Yeah.
as day. And
Very
that's
clear as
what
day.
the educational system has
Yeah.
been designed. And then we wonder why,
Yeah.
what's going
Yeah.
on with our son.
A lot of the
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, a lot of the no, I'm sorry. A lot of the things are clear. Like, take for America, in America, for example, the whole divide and conquer thing. I'm not over there right now, but it's so clear. I think if I was over there, it'd still be so clear.
Yeah.
It's so clear how they're trying to divide and conquer. Like, okay, they already have divided and conquered male and female, but now they're trying to divide and conquer so-called ethnic groups, different groups
Oh
of
yeah.
people. They've been trying to kick off a melanated against the pale man war
Mm-hmm.
for the longest, with all the police things and all this stuff, like trying to agitate you, point, okay, we did
Yeah.
this to you, and it was caught
Yes.
on camera, and now what you gonna do? Are you gonna
Right.
react? It's like they're constantly trying to get a reaction, and people
Exactly.
can't see this. It's so plain. It's so clear. It's
It's
just
so
ridiculous how
clear.
clear it is. It's
Yeah.
so clear. I mean, a blind person can see that, but hey, and it just keeps going on, and like you mentioned, with the miseducation of our children and just different things, the dumbing down of everything. It's
Yeah.
just with the music. I remember someone saying that in 1989 or whatever, I think, when or whenever, 92, when the Rodney
91.
King.
It was 91 when they decided that we're going to have private prisons. And the way that we're going to funnel
uh,
people to these private prisons is to have music frequencies
yeah,
that change the way young people listen to
exactly.
music and sound. And now we can
Yeah,
drive them into these prisons, and we can make
yeah,
the state accountable for keeping prisons a certain amount. And if they don't keep that prison up at that amount, they get fined.
yeah, yeah.
It's I'm telling you, we have been socially engineered.
Engineered. And I'm gonna tell you, stepping out of the low end of Chicago, the east side of Chicago, all the places that I dwelled in Chicago, in the world, in the United States, stepping out of that complex, because it's complex,
Yeah.
that complex maze of different dynamics, um, natural dynamics, spiritual dynamics, and social engineering dynamics. Stepping out of all of that into the world that I am in now and paying attention, it is
Wow.
so obvious that how our people are in a spell, our young people, with the
Yeah.
killing and all the just the violence and how we go about, the whole culture of violence and this whole
Mhm.
thing,
Yeah.
um, it's just so obvious. And so when you see the people here that look like us or whatever, and you see them and they're able to go, you're able to go without thinking like, okay, this person going to shoot me? Is this person? You don't have the same worries and concerns that you're having
Mhm.
right now, being on 78th Essex. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Or being on I don't know how the low end is anymore. I know they changed Bronzeville so much, but being on the low
Right.
end, like, what I'm saying, like, it's not the same concerns. It's not the same, and the people think totally different. But they'll sit back and listen to your music, and they want to react your music. And I see these young people like, do you really want to be a gangster? Do you really want to be hard? Like, do you
Mm-mm.
even know what that means? Do you
Mm-mm.
understand that lifestyle? Walking
Mm-mm.
around, I've been removed from that country over, I don't even want to put that off, but I've been a while. And I still have, like, I still believe I'm suffering from PTSD.
Yeah.
I still have dreams of being in certain areas and certain type of situations. And it's like, this is a war zone. Do you people realize that? Like, do you want to have that as a, and but it's so, like, to go back to what I was saying, it's so clear that it's a spell, that is a social engineering that is taking place, because you can see it take place on this population but not this population. I guess that's what i'm
Well,
i'm saying.
and all of that is being run by the media. Okay, so the fact that we still have to turn on the television to have someone tell us what to think is really interesting,
Right.
because we are allowing
Hmm.
them into our brain. You can select,
Exactly.
there's another way to watch. If you want to watch movies and certain shows, there's another way to do that than sitting
Yes.
watching the news and the talk shows and all of that, who are trained puppets designed to drop certain words in your psyche. And if the book Think and Grow Rich, they talk about the 12 principles of becoming wealthy, and one of the third ones is auto suggestion. I'm going to just
Yeah.
automatically suggest, I'm going to suggest something to you, and you will automatically become that. So when you go to the doctor, they are doing auto suggestion on you. When you go to
True.
the store, when you go to, even with your children, this is hard for your child. Are you kidding me?
Hmm.
No. Do you know the way that you make something easy is by repetition? You do it
Yeah.
over and over and over and over. No, you're not going to get it the first time. You have
Right.
to do it over. And,
Hmm.
no. But see, they'll start off with the auto suggestion.
Right.
So we have to take responsibility for who we're being. You said accountability earlier. Yeah, we all have to be accountable for how we're allowing the influence. We're allowing our own now. We're allowing
That's it.
ourselves to be socially engineered.
Exactly. Exactly. I use the word often, willfully ignorant.
Yeah, willfully ignorant. And then I'm going to argue with you about it because you're not following the masses.
Exactly.
You're
You're the one.
think for yourself something's wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, they make ignorant cool, so it's like, yeah, wow.
Yeah. And that this is
Mm.
why it's
No, I see.
so important that people like yourself are doing media, so that we can have conversations that are not being held in common households or classrooms, and we can
Mhm.
discuss this, and we can find out, is there another perception that we're missing that would make a
Right.
difference for us?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
is plenty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said something earlier. I like to go back after what you said. You said something earlier about the media and the auto suggestion, and
Mm-hmm.
how, like you mentioned with the child. One thing I would also like to say, just for the people that's listening, whatever, is like you mentioned, your words have the power, and a lot of times we get caught up because we're so trained and so used to talking a certain type of way. So, for
Yeah.
example, like when the whole conspiracy theorist type of thing, so you listen and you learn about certain things, you say, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this. And you're learning it and you see you think what they plan on doing, what they're trying to do, but you're saying it, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And you don't realize you're a participant
Yep.
in this theater
Yep.
talking about what they're going to do.
Exactly.
So it was a time period. I fasted from all that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
You
saying?
have
I
to
fasted.
withdraw yourself. You literally have to withdraw people all the time are saying, have you listened to so and so? Have you watched this? Have you? Oh, no. I am
Hmm.
so protective of what goes in between these ears. I am selective, highly selective, because everything that
Hmm.
comes into you is creating a vibration. Everything.
Hmm.
So if you're not constantly aware,
Hmm.
of what you're vibrating, you're going to attract that.
Right.
You got to,
Right.
so I'm not going to allow something to come in my head, and, willfully allow
Hmm.
something to come in and make me feel sad. Are you kidding? Make me
Right.
feel angry, make me feel
Right.
disappointed, make me
Right.
feel unworthy. I'm going to sit and listen to that for 8 hours a day and then wonder why I feel so overwhelmed at the
Hmm.
end of the day. No.
Right. Yeah. And
Mhm.
then talk about it as if it's so.
And
So
and it's supposed to be like that. And it's
exactly. It is not. And so what I did on top of fasting from it for a while, when I did speak about this stuff, like the so-called conspiracies or someone else's prolific
mhm,
plans or whatever,
mhm.
I changed my wording to
Yeah.
people. If you're going to talk about it, change your wording and don't speak it. Don't be a unwillful participant in creating
Yeah.
a horrible future. So
Mhm.
I would suggest to people to say they they plan on, or they're not going to be successful with this, but this is what
Yeah.
their desires are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
If you're going to speak, if you're going to get any kind of attention at all, or because you might want to wake people up. So like if there's a conspiracy, a truthful conspiracy to harm melanated young boys, for example, with
Mhm.
LED lights in the classroom or something like that. And
Mhm.
if you find out this to be true, and then we're getting affected by it, and you say, "Oh, they're going to do this with these lights, or they're going to do this and that," no, say they want to do this or they're trying to do that. Don't say
Yeah.
what they're going to
That,
do.
that
Don't
that
stick it
could
to
be their
existence.
intention, but we don't have to feed into it.
Exactly.
We don't
Yeah.
have to feed into it. And just the same way
Yeah.
that we've been talking for years about genetically modified food. We've been saying, listen, pay attention. You don't have to eat like that.
No. No.
You don't have to. You have a choice.
No.
And people
Yep.
all the
Yep.
time, oh, it costs too much. It's like, no, it costs the same thing, because I promise you spending
Hmm.
money on stuff that you could be spending money on healthy
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then yeah. So yeah. So with that also, like I said, you willfully helping them, and it's like you have your own prayer group now. You have your manifestation group. They're basically creating manifestation groups. You get what I'm
Wow.
saying? This is what
Yep.
they're doing. They're basically creating a manifestation
Oh
group.
my God. Yes.
So
Yes.
so imagine if we could have half of the world be like, oh, Rita Stewart's gonna be a billionaire. Just, oh, they're trying to make Rita's gonna be a billionaire. Rita's gonna be a billionaire. You know, how more easy will it be for you to achieve that goal if you have half of
Oh
the
yeah.
population of Earth speaking
Because
into
the
existence?
frequency, that's exactly right. You speak it into existence.
Yeah. So
You
people
know,
should stop speaking negative things in existence that
yeah.
other people are trying to do to masses. That's all I would like to say and put it out there in the air, let
Yeah.
it fly around, and hopefully it can spread
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you
and
vibrate
people
me,
could
there, you will be blessed beyond measure, because no matter what I have, everybody gets a piece of it. That's just who I've always been. But
So
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, no. So let's do that. Let's everyone say Rita Stewart will be a billionaire, and let's do that. And let's pray for Rita to be a billionaire, because it would help. It would help a lot of people.
Oh my goodness, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's better than saying that they're gonna lock everyone up in FEMA camps. It's better than
Come
saying that,
on,
right?
yeah, because we're not doing that either.
No, exactly. That's my point. I'm not gonna say what they're going to
Yeah.
do and speak something else in existence. Even if they're trying to do that or plan to do that,
hmm
I'm not gonna help them with their blueprint.
No.
What
And
that
this
look like, man?
that's really great that you said blueprint, because that's exactly what we get to change when we change our language. We get to change the blueprint in our gene system with our health codes. You can change everything in your body by saying what you want it to do instead of what you've been told it's going to do. Literally, every
Right.
cell in our body is listening to us. So I become younger and more beautiful every day. That's just, my affirmation in the mirror. Deal with it,
And you
right?
know what? I must say that's true also, because you look younger than I talked to you than you did when I talked to you a couple of weeks ago.
Whatever.
So
I just
it's
flipped
working.
the
Keep it. Keep it up, though. Keep it up.
bird. Thank you.
No, no, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, we get to
Yeah,
say, we get to
the
say.
inter,
hmm
yeah, that's the thing. We got to stop feeling powerless,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that's what it is. People give their power away, and yeah, they give their power away, and they look at that's it in a nutshell. We give our power away.
Well, it's been scientifically proven that the average human, and I know that people have heard this, and I say it a lot, and others people say it a lot, but the average human being has 65,000 thoughts a day,
Mm,
and
hmm
90% of them are usually negative or repetitive.
Wow. Okay.
90% are negative. They're not
Mm,
even new thoughts. They're the same old thought. 65,000 thoughts, and they're either negative or repetitive. So, how do I interrupt that? And we have to create practices all day. And one of them is just like you said, don't repeat the negative, change it, become conscious of what you're listening to, even when you're listening to yourself. Use
right.
affirmation.
Mm,
Don't just listen to them, but write them down, because you
yeah.
only remember 3% of what you hear, but you remember 63% of what you write down.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
changing, you know, your whole coding by writing something. Everybody using a computer, get
Yeah.
out the computer and get you some paper and pencil, pen and paper, and write.
Yeah.
Allow
I
yourself to
I
get
love
in
that.
your humanity, your humanness, you know?
Yeah. 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 I would also say a exercise. I'm giving away some jewels like you are. Would be to, like, if you're constantly living in the past, don't do that. But if you're gonna go to the past and you're dwelling off of something, and that's one of your thoughts that you have, rewrite that.
Rewrite
Rewrite it,
that.
like totally change it.
Yeah.
If your mother told you, no, you're stupid, and that just shocked you, just relive that and see your mother saying, dude, you're gonna be the greatest person
Yeah.
on earth. Do you
You
realize
can do
that?
that.
My little baby boy, you're gonna be this, and rewrite that and change that whole dynamic.
That's what we do when we're working with the Master Teacher Series, in our coaching.
Hmm
We literally have people see that what you're calling a trauma is actually revealing to you a gift. And I remember when I discovered, I was like, I grew up, I don't have parents. My mother's been mentally ill and then in and out of mental institutions, have been since I was 5.
mm,
And then I didn't know who my father was. So I
wow.
felt completely, my grandmother raised us, but I was like the last of 5 children in her household. So I was the
Mm,
most ignored and the most invisible. And one day, in my adult life, probably I think I was in my 40s when I realized, oh my God, not having parents really had me become so committed to my relationship with God that, I mean, that was my whole spiritual hookup. That was my spiritual hookup.
Wow.
And what brought me through life was that relationship. So anytime I had to deal with something, my spiritual strength kicked in because I couldn't call mother or father. I had to go inside. And I said, oh my God, I've become a superhuman. This is what it's
Okay.
supposed to be. We're
You about
supposed to teach
right.
our children how to hook up to the universe. Get your stuff. Now, I may not always
Right.
be there, but the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, source is always available. How do you tap into that? How do you make sure that it's accessible to you? And that's it. And through prayer, meditation, song, dance, however, all of those systems allow us to receive that cosmic energy when you need it and when you don't. It's just always flowing. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. It totally makes sense. It totally makes sense. And you did a good job of becoming a superhero because you're one of my superheroes. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that
I
much.
said super
Really, really are.
about a hero because I don't believe in saving people.
Hey, you do you do indirectly. So explain that to the people that you don't believe in saving people.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? God is available to everybody everywhere. The path that we're on is the path. And we teach from a very metaphysical, Afrocentric standpoint where we believe that we chose our parents. We chose the community that we wanted to be born in. We chose what it was we wanted to learn in this incarnation and the mission we wanted to fulfill. So in that choosing, we actually came here to get that work done. But part of the work is to forget that we made that choice. So now we're in this family of unlove and no nurturing and everything else. But guess what? That's our training ground. That's where we're trained to be the superhuman. But if society makes us think that that's a tragedy, that being poor is a disadvantage, as though being rich is an advantage. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's another one that needs to be changed. Rich people are at a disadvantage too, spiritually, emotionally. Okay, so don't get it twisted. But anyway, if we actually begin to cultivate inside of that wealth of spirituality, right, we can grow. So say for instance, Malik, I see you dealing with something and I say, oh man, let me tell you, here, come on, you ain't got to deal with that. Come on, you need a car? I'm gonna buy you a car. Come on, here, you're going. Now that interrupted something with you. You going through a period where you didn't have material things or didn't have something that you needed. That was an opportunity for you to tap in to where you're experiencing lack in your own frequency, your own vibration. So what I can share with you is how to increase your vibration. But if I buy you the car, you didn't develop anything. You didn't develop the
Right.
your capacity. So guess what? You're gonna probably lose that car because you did not create the worthiness, the sense of it being you. And you know what I'm saying? You could really take that out of your, and I've seen it happen to myself on a number of occasions. Oh yeah, I want this. But then I hadn't cultivated being able to have that. There's a period that you cultivate. You want to be a billionaire, you have to go through the cultivation, because if it comes overnight, you haven't held the space for it.
Right.
It's
That's why
all
the
that.
guys people that win the lottery, they
3 to
lose
5
it.
years
A
they
lot of
broke.
people they lose it right now.
Yeah, in
Right.
3 to 5 years they broke, and some of them, even dead, because they go into a lifestyle of, just, hurting themselves, eating
Wow.
the wrong foods,
Wow.
drinking too much, partying too much, risk taking, So
Wow.
yeah, so
That's
that's
right.
why we say no rescuing. Now, if you're going through
Okay.
something, I will stand with you. I will stand right there with you. I will listen to you. You can cry on my shoulder. You can share. But yeah, I'm not giving you my money. I'm not giving you no place to live.
Oh no. Hey.
you know, one of
Right.
my
Right.
favorite
Right.
one of my favorite quotes, it's either from Earl Nightingale. I think it's from Napoleon. It's from one of them, either Earl Nightingale. I think it's Earl Nightingale. He says, "You are where you are because that's exactly where you want to be."
Mm.
Now, when I first heard that, I was listening to a tape, and I had to be about 20 or 21. And I was in an abusive relationship. And I heard this white guy say, "You are where you are," because I turned that shit off. I turned it off. And I'm like, I can't. These people have no idea what real life is. I for 3 days, Melik, I didn't listen to it.
Mm.
But it had gotten to my spirit. And I had to, well, what does that really mean? Then I
Mm.
am where I am, and I know that I don't want to be here. And baby, that's all my spirit needed, was to work on my capacity to change, to be
Mm.
willing to, because what was there was, oh my God, if I get out of this situation, I don't have any place to go. I have to be a single mother. I don't know how to survive. Nothing but fear, right?
Mm.
But if you concentrate on, okay, I need to look for safe and harmony and peace. Let's just stay on that.
Mm.
Let's look for, we're going to focus on it. And the things changed real quick after that. They changed real
Wow.
quick, and I, every time it changes real quick when you start addressing. And what was missing for me in that equation was courage. I didn't have the
Mm.
courage to be alone. You
Mm.
understand? I had already created, I cannot be a single mother. And, still ended up being a single mother. you know,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
So
sharing
you are
that.
where you are, because that's
That's
exactly where
powerful.
you want to be. Deal with that one.
Whew. Ain't that crazy?
Man, because I'm telling you, I pushed against that. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah,
And
deal with that.
some of us been where we want to be for a long time, not wanting to be there.
Yeah. But guess
Yeah.
what? What's holding us there is we think somebody else supposed to change. Somebody is supposed to save us. And that's why we're
Right.
always, nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to save you. Yeah.
Right.
You're your own superhuman.
Wow. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, there you go, folks. Why not to save nobody? You're not there to
No.
you're not there to save.
Mm.
You know,
We're all powerful. The best
you can give the tools though,
you get
right?
a what? You get a what?
You can give the tools for them to save
Oh yeah.
themselves.
Oh, we give away the tools. We are all for that.
Show them the
Showing
direction.
the direction.
Yeah.
Man, well, we might even feed you now. We'll feed you. we
Right.
might make some vegan dishes for you.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, we're not gonna
Yeah.
do the saving.
At a certain point, you can't. You understand? It's like like I have a gift of healing. And even with the gift of healing, all I can do is I can do it. If the person doesn't want to let go, some people
It
they
ain't
want that pain. It ain't gonna happen. So you're
gonna,
not saving them still. Hypnotherapist. If the person don't want to let go or go there, it's something you
it's
can
not
do.
gonna happen.
So all you're doing, even with those modalities, all you're doing is allowing the person the pathway to come up out of where they are.
Yeah, it took me a long time, Melik, to balance that conversation. That I couldn't save them. Like, man, I have
Right.
all this knowledge. I can tell you what to do. I can tell you exactly what to do, and I promise you it will work. I can tell you all the examples of how I've used it in my life and my practice with the other coaches. Do you know that if that person does not believe what I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's not going to make a difference?
Not
Period.
gonna make a difference. Moot. I did an interview yesterday with Jamal Hamilton. I don't know if you know Jamal. And at the end of the interview, I mentioned that, not to blow my horn, but we were talking about. He was talking about how the information that he had in the way that he had it. We were just talking about how you don't know who you can touch with just your delivery. It's
Yeah.
so many people on earth that your delivery can touch someone and it can be that spark that they need. And I was telling him, I said, not to blow my horn, but like there was people that I gave a delivery to, and it wasn't like, oh, a sermon on a mound or no crazy, but it was for them, it was that. It was all they needed to hear. And
Yes.
they went on with that little thing that I told them,
Yep.
interaction, they went on to do some great things and
Some
changed a
great things.
whole lot of people's lives.
That's right. That's why
And
my philosophy in working inside of Masterforce, and why we actually do the methodology the way that we do, is if I just touch one person,
yeah.
just one person. I'm not about the masses, but there are many coaches that go on and touch it. But my one person theory goes back to Miss Leggett in high
Okay.
school. When I graduated from high school, no one in my family came to my graduation.
Same
And
here, except my
yeah,
except my aunt. Except my aunt.
no, I mean no one. I
No
mean no
one.
acknowledgement whatsoever. None. None,
Wow.
and of course I didn't have mother and father, but my grandmother, my sister, my aunt, cousins, nobody came, right? And I'm crying because
Mm.
I'm on stage. I'm part of the choir that sing, and then one of the Miss Leggett came to me and she had a gift for me, and she said to me, "If we don't get you out of Chicago, you're going to die." That was her feeling. Like there was
Mm.
no root there. Like there was nobody holding me up. Right now, I don't.
Wow.
I'm 18. I don't know these words. What she's saying. I just know I'm sad because I'm by myself, and all of my friends wanted to go out someplace, and I just wanted to go home. I just took the train on home. Went home, got under the cover, and put the cover over my head, and just cried myself to sleep. A few
Mm.
days later, she literally began to set up me taking the SAT back then, and then after taking the SAT, they found a college in Iowa that would take me because I was
Mm.
late. Late. It was in August, September. It
Mm.
was in July, and then the office clerk bought an airline ticket for me to fly to
Wow.
college, and the security guards bought my luggage.
Wow.
My family was still like, whatever, right?
Mm.
So that teacher didn't know. I mean, it was probably 30, 40 years later when I told her the impact that she had on my life and how that has been how I impact people, like to just believe in them. Whether they can see it or not, I can see it.
Right.
And I don't know what she saw in me. I don't know. But I can see that in people. I can see that greatness in people. And especially when they're in my space. I
Mm.
can't see it in the masses, but when they show up in my space, I already know that the universe has actually said there's some work here for you guys to do together. And I hold that religiously. And I do my part.
Mm.
I do my part. And a lot of times, again, if they can't receive, there's nothing for me to do in that.
Right.
But that one theory, one person, touch one person. And then, they go on to touch many.
Many. Many. I had this person before they passed tell me, because of the conversation they had with me, they feed over 2,000 something people a day in Haiti.
Wow.
how powerful that was. That just touched me, man. You
Yeah.
know, and I don't know if you know David Goggins. You heard of David Goggins, the Navy SEAL
No.
guy? And I'll send you some videos of David Goggins. But he has this thing called his cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
And his cookie jar is like accomplishments that he's done or different things. Like, okay,
Yeah.
when he's
Mm.
feeling real bad, he was like, man, you ran up Mount Everest butt naked with some sandals on, for example. I'm just joking. But David Goggins is your guy to do that. And
Right.
he'll go in the cookie jar and grab that out when he's feeling like really down and be like, wow. So I've had to fall back on that a couple, not that many times, but a couple times. I'm usually
Oh
okay.
yeah.
But I had to fall back on that when someone just try to belittle my existence. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? I'm
yes.
like, okay, but okay, I don't believe that because we're all here, we're all intertwined,
Yeah.
and yeah, just the littlest thing, like a
Yeah,
butterfly effect,
and
the
you're right.
littlest
Some
thing could
people
just
will try to
change
get
the
under your skin. They'll try to get, and that speaks more
yeah,
about who they are than what it does about who you
hmm
are. And it's
yeah,
important to do that self-care. That's a part of self-care to remember who
yeah,
you are. When I get into
exactly,
that space, I'll make a list. I'll sit there and say, write 50 things that you've accomplished or that you feel excited about in your
right,
life. And I'll sit there with my tea, and if the 50th thing is
mm,
that I did 10,000 steps last week, I'm going to write
right,
50 things because that's an
mm,
accomplishment. That is inside of helping me to remember who I am and what I bring to the table. And
right,
so when you do that, Malik, you have to be your own cheerleader.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's good. I'm
yeah,
glad that you do that because
yeah,
all of us are not in nurturing environments. All of us are not
no,
sitting with people who look at us and say, "Oh my God, I'm so grateful that you're here."
right,
And yeah,
right. Yeah, no, I mean, even being all the way on the other side of the world, it's a lot of things I reflect back on the people that I'm close to, that I have genuine love for, and I feel like they have that for me. So imagine someone downing me, and then I'm like, "Are you serious? I'm
yeah,
friends with Rita Stewart. Come on, man, that's my friends. That's not even a word. That's like my
that's
sister,
not even
my
a word, right?
like we're not even friends. What's even that's like my
No,
sister. It's like, come
yes,
on, we're spiritual brothers and sisters. So
yeah,
how could I let someone put me down when I hold you at such high esteem and
yeah.
you're my you're my
You
god sister in
you're at
some
a
way.
you're like, where move, answer the
Yeah,
phone.
right. Exactly. So I'm like, come on now.
Right.
It, I can't be what you saying about me if
No,
nah, it don't match. Match. This
it does.
angel of a human being is my come on, that it just doesn't go. Don't go together.
That's
Don't go
good.
together.
I,
So yeah.
I'm glad that that's who you are for me in my world. And
Mm,
it's I you, anybody that crossed my path, I want because we are so just amazing for each other. I mean, we
mm,
are the life force. We
yeah,
keep each other
yeah.
grounded. And can you imagine walking up to somebody and telling them, "Yeah, you da da da"? Who are you talking to?
Right, right.
Let me send you some vibration, right? With
Yeah.
crystals. Let me pull my pendant out.
Exactly, man. Nah. Real talk.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's important that we remember to do that too, because sometimes
yeah.
being in that type of frequency,
Oh,
it can rub off.
yeah,
You know, it
yeah,
can rub off. So you have to make sure that you're cleansing that on a regular basis.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and that goes with the work that you mentioned. Like, you sit down and wrote your 50 things and all that.
Yeah.
So it's a daily exercise. I tell my clients, like, man, you just like you got to do these push-ups and you got to do these different mobility
Yeah.
exercises. You got to do the same thing for your mind, spirit, and emotions
That's right.
because you'll get caught up and woof. you get caught up real easy out here. It's a battleground, battlefield out here. So you
Yeah,
gotta,
I was talking to one of the coaches about at 7 o'clock this morning, and one of the things that we were distinguishing was the conversation of depression and being alone, and how
mm,
people tend to think that there's something wrong with that, when actually
mm,
that's an opening to something, right? That's an opening. That depression is like your soul trying to, I'm not available to you because you're not looking for me. You're looking out there.
mm,
I'm in here, So the only way we can find that is where? Inside. So we just have to go deeper and deeper. And at some point, it doesn't cease to amaze me that most people who have been these great healers and people that touch other people's life, they have been on the brink of suicide when they saw the light
yeah,
and realized, wait a minute, yeah,
yeah,
there's something for me to do here.
yeah. There's multiple near death experiences, and that came people came back and changed who they were.
Change.
You don't have to be laying on the table. You don't have to be laying on the table flatline to have a near death experience.
That's right.
You could have been like 2 seconds from doing that, and that's a near death
That's a
experience
near death
too.
experience. Yes, exactly right.
You know?
Even getting struck by light. I mean, there's so many. You could have been the one shot, but the person here was shot. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, and you get to see life in a different way,
yeah, yeah.
and,
Real talk.
and but again, it takes courage. It takes
Yeah, it
courage.
do.
It really does
Yeah,
take courage to live.
yeah, yeah. Living is not easy because it's
But
always
it's
a
worth
challenge.
it.
Yeah,
But it's
definitely worth it. Definitely
living is
worth it.
yeah, the last time I tried to commit suicide, I was 30. And here I am
Mm,
over 60. And let me tell you,
wow,
I'm there every time I celebrate my birthday. I thank the universe, like
wow,
really, like
wow,
really. I am so grateful to see this
wow.
side of life because I almost didn't make it. And then when I did one of those Bantu astrology charts that they do in New
Hmm.
York, I think it's Banu. I forget what it is. It's the Bantu. But anyway,
I heard about it, but I'm not familiar. I would
it's
like to check
really
it out.
powerful. Yeah, you really would want to check it out because one of my
Okay.
brother Kings did mine for me. And when he brought it to me, this chart actually said that from the age of birth to 25, I would have no support.
Wow.
And that I really could possibly die during that time period. And
Whoa.
and I look back and man, I'm like, whoo, baby, you're not lying, And
Wow.
yes, yes. And one of my greatest wealth factors are my friends. My
Wow.
friends are my greatest wealth factor. Like I have my value, the value of friendship is just as high as the wealth factor that flows through my life. Like my friends.
I think we share that. I think
Yeah.
we share that. Um, I have to check that out and see what they say about me
You
on
will
that.
have to
But
check, man, because it blew me away. And then there's so many levels to it where you can increase the energy, with certain mantras and
yeah.
oils and
Okay.
incantations and things, So during the time when you're building, you can also have the metaphysical realms working for you too.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow. Do you incorporate that with your clients also now
I
that you
do not. I do not. I do not incorporate that with my clients at this time. I use the destiny cards.
Destiny cards? Yeah.
Yeah, I use the destiny cards. Yeah, we're
Mm.
starting to use the AO scan with our clients. That's really powerful. I'll have to share that with you because you'll love that too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. I can't wait. Remember that one. And what about with your executive clients and stuff like that? Because you do executive coaching right now
yeah.
too. Can you speak on that for a minute? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so the distinction of executive coaching is working with leaders who themselves have to deal with managing and assisting other people. So a
Okay.
person who's an executive is not just making decisions for themselves, right?
Right.
They're making decisions for their business, they're making decisions for their employees, their organization, their finances, and most of the time
Mm,
that's what it is. And you would be surprised. Most of the work that I do with my executive clients is having them get grounded inside of a conversation called wealth flow and abundance.
mm,
And so we use a lot of binaural beats. We
mm-hmm,
use a lot of work of realizing that as a child, what happened in that conversation about money, because there's some huge disconnections that we have about money, either with our father. A lot of times it is the father, but it could be with the father or the mother that we have to
mm,
heal. Like you stated earlier,
mm,
and I love that you say that you go back and you look at that conversation when somebody may have said to you, you ain't gonna be nobody, you ain't gonna be nothing, you ain't nobody. You literally have to go back and really leave that there with
mm-hmm.
that person and say, I heard what you said. And I can see why you may have said that, but I'm not receiving that. You know,
Exactly.
I'm not receiving that,
Exactly. Yeah, we
and
take
leave it there.
yeah, we take them back to hypnotherapy with that also.
Yeah,
You take them
yeah.
back there, you go back. Yeah, I did a session with I don't know if you remember William. That's one of my best friends. William, do you remember William?
No, I don't. But that's
Oh man,
okay.
I have to. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, he's really big on all the different. He does a couple type of hypnotherapies, emergency
Mhm.
hypnosis. But he was doing one on me the other day, and me running around as a child trying to figure out certain things. But I was all over the place. But it was pretty fun to visit my fifth grade, and I was everywhere. It was cool.
Yeah.
It
And
was
that's and
cool.
that's important to do. It's so important. So with executive clients, the piece for working with people in that level is really having them own like themselves and not feel responsible for all of this, because that there's a lot of rescuing in that
Mm,
conversation, or wanting to rescue. So and it could create huge stress, unnecessary stress. So sometimes we just sit in meditation, just so you can get 30 minutes of meditation this week, you know where you can disconnect. Sometimes
right, right.
I'll have clients say, can we just meditate this week? Sure. Just to get that.
Yeah, because you're dealing with heads of companies and things like that,
Yes,
right?
yes, inside of the conversation of what if I fail, well, what if you succeed?
Whew.
And it's a lot of that going on. Oh man, this is the time right now to really be able to get the beautiful lesson inside of failure. It doesn't make
Mm,
you a failure, but inside of failing or business failing, there's a lesson. There's a beautiful lesson there, and it has nothing to do with your self-worth or your value, but
mm.
it is about letting go. Mm.
Wow, beautiful.
Wow, nighttime is falling over there, huh?
Hmm. You see that, right? It was
Yes,
all
the
in the
sun
sun.
is
Now it's
going down.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's almost 9 o'clock here.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it's 8:42. Yeah, yeah,
It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. Very.
yeah, yeah. So I have other questions. So how is your scheduling as far as working with other people? Because I hear a lot of stuff online with a lot of women who've been being told to seek therapy and
Mhm.
things like that. And one thing that I'm noticing from hearing people, from people that I know that look for therapy and things like that, they're not they're not happy with the therapy they're receiving, and
Mhm.
sometimes you can't even tell that person even received therapy at all, any
Yeah.
coaching at all,
Mhm.
and they can feel like, I mean, when you really get help, it shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even
Oh
you're
yeah.
going to speak about it. You're going to, even if you're not 100% where you should be, you're going to be like, yeah, I need to continue this, but
Yeah.
whoa, where I used to be, oof, you
Yeah.
understand? Now I'm here. you don't see that a lot or hear that or catch that feeling that people are really progressing from it. Not all the time, but I'm able to hear and feel when I listen to people talk about they're getting therapy or they had therapy and they stopped or whatever. So how would you suggest someone go and get in contact with you or some other coaches that you can you know
Yeah.
help
Well,
them
they
out, like
definitely.
myself or some women if they need a woman coach or whatever.
But there's a couple of places. One is we definitely have a fan page, Masterforce fan page. We
Hmm.
also have a Masterforce Leadership International Leadership Academy fan page, but I also have a group called Regal Queen. That's on Facebook, and it's a private group. But if you're over 50, you're welcome to join that. If you want to get in touch with me personally for coaching, shemsu-t, and you can see it spelled there, shemsu-t@gmail.com.
Okay.
And though my person, I don't necessarily take clients because I have a certain clientele that I deal with, but I
Right.
do know all of the coaches. We do have a great deal of amazing female coaches that I can direct you to, you know and
Hmm.
uh, and the reason that we everybody, you made a statement earlier about sometimes people can hear you when you talk. Not everyone can hear me when I talk, so we
Mm.
want to make sure that we connect you with someone that you can hear when they talk. And sometimes it's a female,
I
and
hear you.
sometimes I know you do.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes it's a female and sometimes it's a male. It doesn't
True.
always have to be a female. It actually
Right.
does depend on the work that you are looking to do. One of the other paths that we suggest people take is through one of our senior executive coaches, Timothy Glenn. He does the Awakened Magi, and he actually does human design and astrological charts. And
Mm.
you would be amazed at how many people have not had a natal chart done. So they
Mm.
have no idea like how the cosmos is actually flowing through their vessel on a regular basis. Like, what is it that you need to be doing right now? And you have no clue, but you're pushing up against the wall over here when that's something you shouldn't be doing. You
Mm.
see? So we suggest that people, find out their natal chart, and actually begin to live your life in alignment with the universe instead
Hmm.
of alignment with your ego or what society said you should be doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So they could reach you at Suit
At
Gmail at
Gmail.
Gmail.
Or the Masterforce International Leadership Academy. And then I'm also on Instagram as shemsu-t, and I'm also on Twitter as shemsu-t.
Okay.
So you can find me.
And as
Mm.
far as getting certified as taking a life coaching course, you can
Yes,
get it. You can reach out to me or Muslim Suit because
exactly.
I think
Mhm.
spring you have something coming up
Yeah,
spring,
we
right?
have a course starting Saturday this
Oh,
spring, and so we actually start this. We do a course. I do a course spring and summer. We actually have other executive coaches that teach the course, so they do it at other times. It's just that I
okay.
only teach twice a year, but some of them teach at different times. But it's a 16-week course. And the course is now going for 2,500, and we allow you to either pay the full 2,500 or you can pay as you go, and then there's a little bit of a service fee on that.
Okay.
And we suggest if you're going to do it soon because we're actually going up. We're up in that ante in the fall.
Yeah, you definitely should up the ante because what's offered and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have a beautiful and one of the coaches called me last night and they were like, man, I just can't thank you enough for this gift. And it
Mm.
keeps on giving. you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, I want,
Yeah.
I want to find out how I can help you, how I can get you to the world. I say, well, you get to the world. I'll be right there with you.
Wow. So
You know.
tell me, Moot, do you have anything else you would like to say, or you have some closing comments?
You know, Melik, I just want to really thank you for speaking with me
Hmm.
and allowing me this platform. And then I also want to thank you for being the man that you are.
Right.
And I've probably been around you now for over 30 years, you know, and
Right.
I've seen the maturity. I've seen the commitment that you are to your life, to your family, to your wife, to your children, to your own fitness and well being. But I also see the vulnerability that you offer in learning how to become more of yourself. And that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, thank you for allowing me to be in your life as that support, as somebody that you can trust um, to, you know, actually be there for you. That's
Right.
huge. That speaks volumes to me too. So
Right.
I just
For sure.
thank you for that.
Appreciate it. Well,
Mm.
I'll cry later. Appreciate that. Appreciate
Now
that.
Capricorns don't cry. Now I can say that.
I don't
I'm
know about that.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Right. Nah, yes, that's Capricorn. Whew.
Well, you know I'm a
Wow.
Capricorn and I cry all the time.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Trust me. Not all the time, but enough. Yeah, I don't fight them off that much. I don't fight those tears.
Right.
I let them come,
I
and
do
I let
too.
my sons do the same. Yeah, go ahead and cry.
Yeah.
Get it out. It's good. Yeah. Well,
Um,
thank you for that, though. I really appreciate that, and I'm happy I got that recorded. So that's another thing I can go back and and listen to. I might use that to get my day started and stuff. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
there you go.
Do the
Exactly.
gratitude meditation, do my gratitude meditation and all that stuff, and then to listen to that over again. And like, wow, let me go conquer the world. So
Go conquer the
yeah.
world. And you're so needed. I mean, I hope you
Mm,
remember that. Just, you know, when
mm,
things get challenging, just know that you have a gift. Keep on
mm.
giving. Mhm.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Will you come back? Can I
I'll
have
come
you on this
back.
platform
I'll
again?
definitely come back. Yeah, we
Okay.
probably won't talk this long, but I'll
No,
definitely.
no, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But you never know. I mean, the spirit moves, you never know. We might do
Yes.
more, depending on the topic, we might go over this or something.
But this is true. You know, I just completed 6 week, 4 weeks of Kundalini magic with
Oh,
the
wow.
coaches. And matter of fact, we just bumped the class to 6 weeks because they like 4 weeks is not enough. Well, you know, and
Wow.
the beauty inside that was just amazing. You know, so
Mm,
that would be something one
wow.
to talk about at some point too.
Yeah, I would like that.
Hmm.
If you can get some of the I'm gonna do a lot of breathing information on this channel also.
Okay, sure.
So I would love to, for you, or you can get some of the breathing masters, send them my way
Yeah.
so we can get that information out on this platform also.
Okay. Definitely.
Because I've really been teaching that lately with my clients, my children. You
Yes.
know, yeah, yeah, they don't practice it all the time, but they practice it, and it's
They
it's
know it's
funny.
there. Exactly. They know it's there.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yep. They know it's there, and it's funny to watch a 5-year-old go into meditation and do his thing.
Oh, it's such a beautiful
So
thing. I mean, if
uh,
we just teach the children meditation, that's one of the most
yeah,
beautiful to watch children go in. Oh my God. I
yeah,
just love that. I just love that.
yeah,
It's so powerful. So
yeah.
powerful.
My
So if you
5 and 9-year-old, they
right.
they do they do their thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd love to get somebody on here other than myself to really help out and speak about that.
Sure.
I'm trying to get like you're a master coach. I'm trying to get a lot of master teachers and masters in training
Yeah,
that's out there that can help out and spread this information and help some people.
that's right. But
You know.
we have a list of master coaches with Masterforce. So I'll make sure you have that list. You know, you're welcome
Okay.
to tap
All
into it.
right. All right. I look forward to that. And so I'm gonna let you finish your day.
Thank you.
Um, I know it's what is it? Almost what time
Two
is it?
o'clock. It's
Almost three
almost
there.
2 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Oh, almost two,
Two.
almost three.
Almost
Okay.
two.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm in
Um,
Chicago. Yeah. Yeah.
so wait, if it's almost nine, okay, yeah. I'm thinking it's almost 10 here, but yeah, it's almost nine. So we're a
Mm-hmm.
7 hour difference right now. Yeah, you
You're
see
right.
it? It's dark here now. You see that?
It's dark. I see it.
It just the sun just went down as we were on the phone.
Wow.
That's
That's
crazy,
amazing.
right? Yeah, yeah. So
On
you
the other
it,
side of the world. I love
you
it.
know, yeah,
Love
it was a pleasure.
technology.
It was a pleasure, a big pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you as always. We have to
Hmm.
get in contact with each other off of air and talk, like you
Okay.
mentioned, and
Yeah.
help me out, work on me. Don't save me
Okay.
though, just give me some more tools.
I know.
Keep me in line, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Give
We're
me
here for each other. That's
There we
true.
go. There we
Mm.
go. So I bid you a farewell, a good night,
Yeah.
and love and light.
What is it? Ciao.
Way, ciao. All right. Ciao, ciao, Mushum Soup.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Peace.